We have number 6, Kaley Smith, on today from Western Michigan University Volleyball. We're going to ask her, do you pronounce it Libero, Libero, or like I do, Libero, right? From Spain, that's where I learned it. So what have you been doing, Kaley, during this COVID-19 time?
Yeah, we've been doing tons of volleyball meetings, which have been awesome. We're staying super connected with our teammates, and we do like FaceTimes, and I'm keeping account. We do this thing called accountability partners. So each week I get a different teammate, and it's super fun because we pretty much just get to catch up and we make sure each other's working out, and we do challenges. So I'm trying to drink a gallon of water a day, which is way more challenging than you would believe. It's very
Oh, your skin will appreciate that. Look at trying to stay young right here. I try to drink a lot of water. Yeah.
I'm glowing by the end of it.
Yeah. So you can sweat it all out on the volleyball court.
Exactly.
So I hear you're a very intense player and you love getting after it. Now you're listed at 5'5". You're an obvious DS Libero. Now, would you say it's a Libero or Libero? How would you say it?
I've heard it both ways my whole life, but I just simplify it. I like the Libero. It sounds cooler, adds a little swag to the name. I kind of like it. So I say Libero.
Libero. Actually, I think I learned it Libero, and then I played 4 years in Spain, and they're a libero, so they hit the middle part like a, like libero, so that stuck with me. I go libero, like straight up make Americanize it, right? But
You're a
libero.
Libero.
Now, being from Michigan and playing in your hometown at Western Michigan, how's that been with your family coming to games?
Well, I live 30 minutes away, so it's so nice. And that was kind of a big thing when I was deciding. Western was my dream school. I was talking to other schools, but I remember when I was super young, I went to a game and I was like, Mom, I have to play here. I'm going to play here. And it's just a bonus that it's super close. My mom sends me food. I go home for dinner sometimes. It's super nice.
What was it about Western Michigan that made you go, yep, this is the place for me?
I think I distinctly remember I was like 13 sitting in the bleachers, and Lena Oliver was the libero at the time. And she was phenomenal, amazing, absolutely love her. We're actually good friends now. We talk quite a bit, but seeing Colleen, she was just very intense and just super passionate. And I was like studying every single thing everyone was doing. It was my first legit collegiate volleyball game I'd ever been to. So I think just after I left, in my head, I was like, this place is amazing. Like, I just have to go. I loved the environment of it. I think it was just awesome.
Well, now you're going into your senior year and being a freshman, sophomore, going through the underclassmen, now you're hitting the stride, finishing it out. What lessons have you learned from beginning to now?
That is a huge question and a ton. I think each year you learn something different. And for me, the most important thing is that every team is different. You're going to learn something from the different people you play with. The coaches learn and they grow, they learn more about you. I think for me, the connections that I've made has been the most important learning for me, and like growth, and just in general, the most important thing. I've learned how to connect with teammates differently, and even coaches and adults, and it's going to carry me on through once volleyball's over, the connections I make with the people I work with and just things like that. So that's probably what has been the most important thing for me.
How would your teammates describe you as a player?
Intense, I think, is a good word for it, but also just motivating. I get so excited when we get an amazing block, or just the little things, like if we set up perfectly, or if someone plays off block or defense, or we're stopped when they're hitting. I just get like super excited, and I love getting hyped for my teammates and just making them feel good on the court.
Yeah, I remember off blocker defense when a hitter actually comes off, pulls off to pick up that dig, and you're like, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Kaley, you went from defensive specialist, so 3 rotations in the back row, and now you're trying to work your way into that libero row, or libero, as we talked about, role. How has it been? What's the mindset to fight for that position?
I mean, for me, it was really challenging because you go from in high school, you're the all-star. If you're going and playing college, you're a good athlete. You know what you're doing. You're playing libero. And all 4 years, my whole life, I'd always only played libero. So I got here, and Kathleen was above me, and she did an awesome job. She was really great to look up to, and just have someone who physically had already been there, knew what she was doing. She knew the rotations and the other players. So I think at first you have to look at it as like, I can't look at myself badly, because everyone who comes here is really good. Like, we all have the same athletic ability, but it becomes more of who is working more off the court, who's working to make those connections, who's pushing their teammates when you're in the weight room rather than just on the court, who's making sure that people are making the right decisions when they're off the court. And I think it took me a little time to get into that role as a player. But where I'm at right now, I think that the respect that we all have for each other on the court is super awesome. And I've never felt like this on a team before. I think that the role that I play is really going to push me when I'm going for that Libero position. So just keep grinding, doing what I'm doing physically, athletically. We're all in a really good spot, but doing the stuff off the court is what's most important for me right now.
You have a great mindset. Keep it up. What is it? What's your Go Broncos?
Go Broncos.
Yeah.